Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight on the show, we are reviewing the latest episode of Smackdown. We're watching AEW Rampage as we speak, and we'll do a little preview for AEW Full Gear coming up tomorrow night. It's Wrestling Uncensored. It's Dave. It's Johnny. We're live. Let's go! Yeah. What's up, Johnny?
Well, I enjoyed SmackDown, so usually puts me in a better mood than usual. And SmackDown's pretty good. And so far, Rampage is all right. This opening match, Jungle Boy, Bobby Fish, it's pretty good so far. So, enjoying it. And, you know, we got AJ on the chat. We also have Bellator going on right now. So, lots happening. A lot of good things happening right now.
Are you watching Bellator? What are you talking about?
I mean, you could watch Bellator.
Oh, it's hard to watch us, Bellator, and Rampage. I mean, you're stretching a little thin here, John. Trying to keep
I'm
viewers
sure you're
here.
watching Bellator.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not? Wow, I'm surprised.
You're going to mention
much?
AJ, too, spamming the chat right off the bat? You're not starting off well, John. You're not starting off the show well on my end, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, there's no AJ love anymore. I don't understand what happened.
It's just too much. He just, like, you know, there's like, you know, if there's like 10 messages in the chat, 6 of them are AJ. It's just too much.
Well, only one popped up for me, so.
I'm seeing a bunch. It's just nonstop, the guy. Yeah. You like SmackDown?
Yeah, well, it didn't start off good. The first match was horrible, but after that, it got pretty good, I thought. I thought Sami and Jeff Hardy was good. And I like the main event. You know, if you're a Xavier Wood fan, you got to be happy with that. I mean, yeah, he got beat down, but I mean, he got a victory over Roman Reigns, and not many people get that. That's huge for him. That's like probably the biggest victory of his career.
He gets a disqualification win over Roman Reigns. Was that your match of the night, or was it Jeff and Sami?
Yeah, I'd probably go with Jeff and Sami. I feel like that was more of a contested kind of match where this was just like Roman pretty much dominated. Not the greatest match in the world, but a great moment for Xavier to get that like DQ win regardless. Like that's big for him. To get a victory over Roman Reigns. Not many people get anything on Roman Reigns. So if you got something, that's gigantic. Again, the biggest victory of his career, I think.
Yeah, Xavier Woods getting the win over Roman Reigns. He hits his springboard elbow drop that he's been using as a finisher. Gets the cover. 1, 2. Here come the Usos. They pull Roman Reigns out of the ring. They pull Xavier Woods out of the ring and cause a disqualification. Right. They start beating down Xavier Woods. They beat him up quite a bit. And then Roman bends a knee for the Usos to take Xavier Woods' crown. Of course, Woods is the king of the ring. They take the crown, and they put it on Roman's head, and the whole bloodline poses at the end of the show. I think it was pretty big for Woods to get a win of sorts over Roman Reigns, and definitely I think it was more impressive that Woods put Roman in a vulnerable position. You know, he hit his finisher, and he was about to beat the Universal Champion. That's the message that the WWE was sending out tonight. You know, Xavier Woods is a guy who could potentially beat Roman Reigns, which I think is very positive for Woods fans, and for anybody that had any hopes for Xavier Woods getting that top spot one day. So I think that was a really good sign for Xavier Woods in what was a decent match, but I'd have to agree with you. I think the Jeff Hardy-Sami Zayn match was a little bit better, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But Woods getting the win over Roman Reigns tonight, big deal. I thought Roman, the stipulation was if he did not beat Woods, he would bend the knee and relinquish the title and leave SmackDown forever. Or was that if he got pinned by Woods? Like, what was the deal? Didn't Heyman cut this big, long promo earlier in the night? Like, Kayla was backstage, and she's like, hey, Roman, I want an interview with you. And he's like, it doesn't matter what you want. It matters what I want. And I want to go back to my locker room right now. So then he's like, Heyman, you do the promo for me. And Heyman's like, Roman Reigns is going to da-da-da-da-da. And by the way, if he loses, he will bend the knee and give up the title and leave SmackDown forever. Doesn't that make the show more interesting? And I was like, I mean, kind of, but I mean, I don't think Roman's really leaving SmackDown, so no, not really. Did I miss that stipulation? I don't understand. Shouldn't Roman lose the belt now?
I think the thing was he had to bend the knee, right? And he bent the knee, so he doesn't have to give up the title. I thought that's how the stipulation went.
If he didn't bend the knee, then he'd have to give up the belt, right? So he did bend his knee and was then crowned the new champion or king of the ring or whatever.
Whatever. I mean, you know, it was just the way. That's their spin on it, where Xavier got his victory and then Roman got to stand tall at the end. That's the way they kind of even it out. But regardless, the fact that Xavier got that was huge because, again, barely anyone gets anything on Roman. So that's gigantic. If you're pushing for Xavier to win the Rumble, this was a huge step forward for him. Now he's got to continue that momentum, though. Like, yes, you got this big victory on Roman, but now you got to go on Survivor Series. You got to survive in that Survivor Series team, I think.
Whatever that team is now down a man, which is weird. That was another thing that happened on SmackDown, right? Jeff Hardy wrestled Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was backstage talking to himself in a mirror. Jeff Hardy was hiding in the wall. And then Jeff mumbled some things to Sami that Sami wasn't happy about. And then Sami wanted Adam Pearce to remove Jeff from the SmackDown team. And Adam Pearce instead was like, how about you guys have a match and whoever loses is removed from the team? And then Jeff won with the Swanton in a pretty solid match. So now Sami's off Team SmackDown. But now Team SmackDown, a week out from Survivor Series, is down a man. And they don't really have a replacement. I don't understand. Dominic Mysterio was booted off the Raw team, but only because he could not defeat Bobby Lashley, who then replaced him on the Raw team. Here we have two guys that are on the team, and whoever loses is just off the team. So now SmackDown has a weaker team, not a stronger team. So I guess Adam Pearce is just, it's clear now he's working for Raw, like he doesn't like SmackDown that much. It seems like Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are both trying to sabotage SmackDown. Sonya Deville also removed Aliyah from the SmackDown team and didn't replace her with anybody. So I guess, Sonya and Adam Pearce, they're trying to play this, I really hope SmackDown wins at Survivor Series. I really hope Raw wins at Survivor Series, when they are both in charge of both brands, so it doesn't really make any kind of sense. So I was wondering, they got to favor one side, and it seems to be Raw, because tonight they just they basically made Survivor Series a handicap match for Raw, in favor of Raw tonight. Right?
Well, we can talk about the women's six-man if you want.
I don't, because it was bad.
I don't want to really talk about it either, but I mean, we should talk about it because it started the show, and it was newsworthy in a sense of what happened. Because, like you said, someone was taken away from the Survivor Series team. However, I believe, the way I look at it, like, Sonya was in the right by doing that because they cheated to win that match. They should have won that match. So she was... So, like, you should be punished for cheating. And she did the right thing by doing that.
She did the right thing.
Yep.
Okay. Will Los Lotharios be punished for cheating to win their match against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs? They cheated to win.
Probably not.
Oh,
yeah, probably won't be cheating. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying that these people are fair, but at least you punish some cheaters.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Aliyah is, try to put this delicately, fucking terrible. She's really bad.
New.
No, she's been in developmental for like 10 years. She's not new.
Okay, but
how long can you be in developmental before you figure out how to do a hot tag? How to show some proper emotion? Fucking Naomi was taking all the heat in that 6-person tag, and she fucking starts crawling to her team, and Aliyah's like got the serious face, and at a certain point she's just kind of laughing. It was just like, what? And then she gets the tag because Sasha gets bumped off the apron. She gets the tag. She takes her sweet-ass time getting into the ring, and Natty had to hold her hand through that whole match. She's on the main roster now. She's been in developmental for fucking 10 years. She's awful. She's not ready for TV. She's stuck out like a sore thumb in that fucking match. You got Shotzi and Shayna and Natty and Sasha and Naomi, and there's Aliyah. She's new, obviously. Shotzi's new. She's not fucking awful like Aliyah is. Come on, man. She sucks. Aliyah sucks.
I think it's just a little harsh for someone who just started on the main roster. She was clearly nervous. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like, after the match, like, she kind of puked a bit.
Did she?
Like, yeah, like, apparently, like, I didn't notice it really at first. I just thought, like, she was just, like, crying. But actually, she barfed a little bit, apparently. So, if you watch her again. So, that's it. Like,
she's probably
she had nerves,
up.
Man.
Oh, nerves.
Well,
and then they interview her backstage, and she's like, I'm so happy to be on Team Survivor Series. You're on Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. You're not on Team Survivor Series. I don't care how nervous she was. You're on TV. This is your job. You're supposed to be on SmackDown, doing the thing, getting the hot tag. And what happens? She gets the hot tag. She just stands there. Come on. It's bad. It's not good. I don't know why you're defending her. She's not good. I mean, I'm harsh right now because I saw her and she made the match 10 times worse than it was. But just seeing her, I was like, yeah, I was glad when Sonya removed her from that SmackDown team. I was like, yeah, why is she on that team? She's not good. I don't shit on many people, John, but I'm gonna shit on Aliyah tonight. She was very bad.
Well, I'm just saying, it's her first match on TV. I think a lot of nerves there. So they tried to make it simple, and, it was tough for her. So I'm not saying, it was good. I mean,
I don't sympathy
definitely
for her.
not my
Oh, it was
favorite
tough.
match.
It was tough. She got to be on SmackDown. Wah. She's been in developmental for 10 years, man.
I think 7, like you originally said.
It's enough already. Come on.
I'm just saying, give her a chance. That's it.
I don't. I gave her a chance. I watched her match. I would prefer never having to watch her matches again. I was really unimpressed. She's awful. Hangman's doing a little promo with the Bucks now backstage. A little Hangman action. Big match.
My main problem with that 6 women's match was that I felt the other ones were very lacking. Just because you have someone who's inexperienced, I felt like the others were really just not doing much in that match. It really felt like a lot of phoning in that match. I don't know if you noticed, it just felt the intensity just was not there.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole match. And you could say oh, he had a rookie in there, but still it doesn't mean everyone else has to sandbag the whole match. I felt like everyone was.
No intensity. It was just a nothing match. It was not good, and what I took away from it was how bad Aliyah was. I was just shocked at how terrible she is. You're like, oh, she's new. She's been in developmental for many years, and I'm watching AEW Rampage right now. I see Jade Cargill. She's new. Got no problem with her. Fantastic. A+, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is the goddamn best. Aliyah wishes she could be 1% the wrestler that Jade Cargill is. What an athlete.
I'm just saying,
Cargill.
give her time.
No. Why? Why? I'm not giving her time. She had my time. I watched her match. It sucked. Next. Yeah. Aliyah, Naomi, and Sasha beat Natty, Shayna, and Shotzi. Also, Aliyah, the way she won the match, she gets the pin on Natty after Aliyah was in the sharpshooter. Natty moved herself towards the ropes so that Naomi could grab her head and snap it against the ropes, and then Natty backed herself into a roll-up so that Aliyah could beat her. I mean, Natty was just holding Aliyah's hand, trying to get her through this match. It was pathetic. This is the big leagues, John. It's the big leagues. And you have Natty just fucking holding your hand through this match. It's pathetic. It's obvious. I don't need to see that shit on TV. Next. I don't think SmackDown was that good, John. I don't know why you like SmackDown. The only thing good about SmackDown was Charlotte's promo.
Well, Charlotte's promo.
And Jinder's promo.
Roman's promo.
Jinder's promo. Roman's promo.
I didn't really like Jinder's promo, but
Roman didn't do a promo.
You liked it.
Roman said nothing. Heyman did that promo.
About?
What are you talking about?
Roman started the promo. Roman was talking first. Then he's like, Heyman finishes for me. That's good stuff.
He said 2 lines. It's not a promo. Doesn't count.
Words don't count.
I mean, come on. He said fucking 2 sentences, and then Heyman did the whole thing for him. Roman barely spoke. We had
he did the whole Rock thing. That was great.
What?
He's like, it doesn't matter what you say. You told Kayla that. That was great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Doesn't matter what you want, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Los Lotharios beat Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Why is Shinsuke taking the fall?
I don't know, but at least their finisher was better. I think you'll agree on that one. Their tag finisher this week, much better.
Super chat.
It was all right. I
Well,
don't understand.
Last week,
I guess
10
I don't
times
know.
better.
I like the guys, but I don't like the name Los Lotharios. I don't like the gimmick. Not good.
Well, I mean, Angel, who's just Angel now, by the way, he's been doing that gimmick since he started, so it's not really anything different.
Well, yeah, it's not anything different, and now Humberto Carrillo's just doing it too. They cheated a bit to win, but again, Shinsuke Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion. Why the hell is he taking the fall here? Why isn't his jabroni guitar man, Rick Boogs, taking the fall? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I don't disagree with you on that one. It's ridiculous. That should never happen. The champion should be protected over the lackey. Like, that really didn't make any sense whatsoever, but for some reason they think otherwise. I don't know. Maybe they can play off the fact that one of them deserved like a title shot. You can play into that possibly. That's the only kind of reasoning I could think of off that, because it didn't really make a lot of sense.
No sense at all. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat with a noob emoji. Thank you, Harold. You're the super chat leader right now. Appreciate you. Jade Cargill just won a squash against Santana Garrett. And then Red Velvet smashed a cake in Jade's manager's face. And now Jade and Velvet are brawling with refs separating them. The opener of Rampage was won by Jungle Boy beating the Bobby Fish. And then Adam Cole came out to attack Jungle Boy, but Christian and Luchasaurus ran him off. Ooh, nice CM Punk Eddie Kingston video package. This match will be fun tomorrow. Don't forget, we'll be doing a post-show tomorrow night right after AEW Full Gear. We'll give you a Full Gear preview in just a bit when we wrap up SmackDown. Antoinette says, SmackDown was a 6 for me. I watched hockey instead. Who was playing? I was watching
Probably
wrestling.
the Leafs are playing.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, the Canadians won last night. John, you must be happy.
Well, just start of a new winning streak is all. That's all.
You think it's going to be a streak?
Always. I mean, don't you think the Yankees are always going to win?
I mean, not always. It's a 162-game season, John. I don't expect them to win every game. It'd be nice, but I hope for 100 wins every season, but, I'm often disappointed. What are you going to do?
You got 80-something, didn't you? It's still not bad.
Not 100.
Still got a wild card spot. That's not bad either.
Yeah, it wasn't a World Series. It's not enough. It's not enough. I don't think you understand. The Yankees fans demand the best and actually get it pretty often. Canadians fans demand the best and haven't got it since the early 90s. Yankees fans, we actually win championships. Right? Canadians fans, they
won a championship last year.
Not the big thing, though. You got to win the whole thing.
Not the big one.
Yankees fans are not satisfied unless we win the thing. You're satisfied with what they did last year? They got to the finals. They didn't win. You shouldn't be satisfied with that. You shouldn't be satisfied until they win everything. That's my mentality as a Yankee fan. I don't want anything but a World Series. I don't give a shit. I don't care if they make the World Series. I want them to win. You made the World Series and you lose? Big losers. I don't like that. You're satisfied with what they did last year, John? I wouldn't be satisfied. I'd want more.
Well, it's a major accomplishment. I think you'd agree, just to win the American League. That's not easy to do right there.
Not if you're the Yankees. You should win it every year.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since they've won it, so I think you'd be happy if they won it again.
Yeah, well, I would be, but I expect them to do it every year. I expect the team to pay for it every year and, by God, get it done. Not sitting around here as a Yankee fan waiting for a fucking mediocre season. I demand championships. I demand greatness. Canadians fans should demand the same, but unfortunately there's a salary cap in the NHL, so they can't really fuck around. And from what I understand, they don't even spend all the money that they could in the salary cap to give you the best team possible, which would not stand in the Bronx. Did they finally do that?
They did.
Wasn't there a while where they didn't?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a while where they weren't spending all their money and they could have? Which I thought was crazy.
Well, they were building.
If you have money on a cap to spend it. That's not your money. It's a fan's money. You got to spend it. Spend that money. Put some fucking quality on your fucking team.
But you got to take into consideration, if you make a trade or something, you got to take the cap into consideration too, right? So when you free up room for that, it's like, oh, you can make trades then. You don't have to worry about what you spend.
I don't like these sports with a cap. It's ridiculous. Pay the goddamn luxury tax for being luxurious and keep on moving. Baseball works properly. All right. Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, blah, blah, blah. They're doing their thing. Charlotte Flair with a promo. Here we go. Let's get to some meat here, pal.
Great stuff.
What a great promo. I wish the only thing is that I wish she would have slowed down a little bit. She kind of rushed through some of the, big points that she was nailing Becky with. But I thought she did a great job, and she fit a lot into a short amount of time here, talking about all the different names that Becky's had and saying Becky's fake and who's the real Becky Lynch, and there's nothing natural about Becky, from her hair to her attitude. Like, Charlotte was taking shots at Becky, and Becky had said some things about Charlotte not being natural and things, and Charlotte apparently took offense to that, so here was Charlotte firing back. Charlotte says Becky's a fake champion, and she's only a star because of Charlotte, and she was only at WrestleMania because of Charlotte, and she's going to change her name to Becky Uh-Oh after she loses to Charlotte at Survivor Series. Oh, I lost to Charlotte Flair. Uh-oh. I came back from having a baby too soon. Uh-oh. Like, Charlotte was just boom, 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 just firing at Becky.
That was rough.
That was crazy. She's like, I came back. She said Becky came back too soon after having a baby. She just said that in a promo. She says anybody that steps in the ring with her becomes a star. She should be called the Star Maker. And then Toni Storm showed up, wanted a title shot, and Charlotte said no. So, whatever. Toni Storm, Charlotte, bah. But Charlotte and Becky Lynch are officially wrestling at Survivor Series, and here was the first shot, Charlotte Flair coming out and, doing a worked shoot promo on Becky Lynch. And the only problem with this is we only have one more week of this. This was the only promo that we've had really in this feud. I think Becky will probably respond on Raw. Charlotte may respond on SmackDown. Maybe, if we're lucky, next week on SmackDown, we get Becky and Charlotte in the ring together for some sort of face-to-face promo.
Well, Becky responded on Twitter, though.
Did she tonight?
Yeah, I think it was just like laughing that Charlotte said, she wasn't natural.
Okay.
That was pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
She
I
says,
think she'll probably
did Charlotte. Here, I'll show you the tweet from Becky Lynch. Of course, it's WWE on Fox. This video not available in my location.
You saw it, though.
Did Charlotte just say there's nothing natural about me? That's brilliant. I mean, yeah. It was a good, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Becky probably will do a promo on Raw before her match. That's the other thing, too. Like, you say it's confirmed. Becky still has to win on Raw. I mean, you expect she's going to win on Raw, but I wouldn't put it past WWE to take this away from us. They've done it before where they promised like a big match in Survivor Series, and the week of, oh, no, change of plans. Wow.
Ugh. Imagine Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair, or Liv Morgan versus Toni Storm.
Well, I don't know if Toni Storm's going to get a shot. That would be, yikes. Toni Storm against like Becky, like I don't want to see. I mean, it's not going to be a bad match, but I mean, come on, like there's no heat there.
We want to see Becky Charlotte at this point. That's the match to make. Is Becky actually wrestling Liv Morgan on Raw Monday? Is that happening?
Yeah, I think they said that during SmackDown, did they not? I'm pretty sure that's like 100% confirmed.
I tuned Pat McAfee out. That guy's fucking irritating.
Yeah, he wasn't that good this week. I won't deny that one.
He's terrible.
But did you hear? But I don't know if you saw like what Becky said about Charlotte, I guess in Sports Illustrated, or like an interview with Sports Illustrated.
That they're not friends?
About they're not friends, and like, it's better to be friends when you're wrestling someone because that way you can have better matches that way.
Uh-huh.
Like she doesn't like that they don't get along. Like she thinks that actually hurts the matches. Interesting mentality.
She could be working. She's selling a match for Survivor Series. Ooh, it's hard to wrestle a fake match when you're not friends. Things could get real. Better tune in and find out. It's a work. Sports Illustrated is a work magazine. They do fake interviews there. Who is that? Ryan Satin or whoever? Who's that guy that does the Sports Illustrated for WWE? There's like one guy they always go to. I forget what his name is, but one of these WWE stooge guys who kind of, get paid by WWE to do these articles. Was it that Barrasso? It was that Barrasso guy probably for Sports Illustrated. It's always the same guys. And the Sports Illustrated shit is always like half work, so I wouldn't believe any of that.
Well, I didn't see a name attached to it, just at Sports Illustrated. So
WWE plants
like
shit
you said,
in there.
You're right about that, and they probably wanted this to get out because it sells the match, but it's not to say that there might be legit heat here.
Yeah, there probably
like,
is.
Again, like ego clashes, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to be the top person, like in their division, so makes sense.
You can't really let
be
Charlotte
friendly,
do that
though.
promo tonight and not let Becky respond in some way on Raw Monday. Like, she has to. And look out.
I mean, they could, but they won't. Like, of course,
They can't,
Becky's
man.
not someone. Well, because Becky can actually cut a promo. I mean, if she couldn't cut a promo, then they would just kind of let it slide. But Becky can actually defend herself. So.
But Becky's also too much of a star to just be walked all over on SmackDown and the WWE not give her the opportunity to respond on Raw. Like, WWE wouldn't do that to Becky.
Well, plus the way they kind of scripted that whole like swapping titles thing, it made it seem like Becky the stronger champion. The way they originally wrote it until Charlotte went into business for herself and decided to drop titles. So, yeah, like I would think in that match too, like you got to go more with Becky because you think they're actually pushing Becky more than Charlotte.
Interesting match. I think they have to do it at Survivor Series. I'm looking forward to it. Who do they replace?
Screwjob, possibly.
Who do they replace Aliyah with on Team SmackDown? Toni Storm?
It's probably going to be Toni Storm.
Right.
I mean, is there anyone else, really, on SmackDown? Unless it's going to be Xia Li. That's going to be her debut, possibly.
What about Naomi?
Naomi would make sense for the storyline, but
yeah,
she'd have to win something for once. They're not just going to give it to her.
How about the men's team? Also down a man. Sami Zayn just gets removed from the team.
Yeah,
Shinsuke,
it's tough.
maybe?
I don't know. I was thinking him, but I mean, him taking a loss tonight doesn't exactly rise his stock up. So maybe like Ricochet, something like that. Cesaro.
Right.
Sheamus.
I think
there's
Sheamus,
options.
I think Sheamus is going to be on a new team with his stalker or whatever. Ridge Holland doing the Mickie James Trish Stratus angle with Sheamus right now. Like, what's going on?
So he kind of like changed up his whole like, oh, ever since a kid kind of thing. Now it's more like, oh, he just admires Sheamus. That's it. There's no like story about it anymore.
Yeah, because he's not Irish. It didn't make sense. And the age difference doesn't really make sense either. So Ridge Holland is interviewed backstage, talks about how much he loves Sheamus. He just loves Sheamus. And then Cesaro shows up and he's like, oh, be careful with Sheamus. He's kind of mean. He might like beat you up. And Ridge is like, oh, I know all about you, Cesaro, and the Bar. But me and Sheamus, we're going to be a better tag team than the Bar ever was. And he's like, and you're going to see next week because Sheamus is going to be here. And I'm like, all right. It's just weird. It's a weird way to debut a guy. Like, Ridge Holland is a guy from England who loves Sheamus. Like, loves him. Cesaro, you weren't good for Sheamus. I'm good for Sheamus. I loved Sheamus the best. It's fucking weird.
Well, it's just his delivery. Like, the idea is okay, where it's like, he was a fan, liking Sheamus. Like, that's okay, but just the way he talks about it, it comes off kind of awkward, because as you've said before in the past, it doesn't feel authentic, so it just feels weird. By the way, that was a decent match there. Dante Martin and Daivari's brother. Like, it's a good match. Daivari, I think it's his debut with AEW.
He was in 205 Live. He's Arya Daivari. He's not just Daivari's brother. All right, we're past the Muhammad Hussein days. We're in the new days. Yes, we are. And Arya Daivari has a name, John. Show him respect. He had a decent match there with Dante Martin. But then after the match, Team Taz gave Dante Martin some sort of contract to, I guess, join them. I thought Dante Martin joined Lio Rush on Dynamite. What the fuck happened?
Well, that's it. I mean, this is going to be their next feud right now, right?
Team
Because I
Taz?
think they realized. Yeah, well, I think they probably realized that they came out more like faces, right? So now they're going to be faces now, Dante and Leo, I think. So Team Taz probably going to be their next feud.
So they are going to be baby faces. Lio Rush is going to
Yeah,
be a
it's
baby
weird.
face? It's weird because when he came in with all the business and all that stuff, he seemed quite heelish. But I
Yeah, but
guess
you saw
because
the
he does all
match.
the flips, people like him. Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that. I think Hit Row are heels because that promo they did tonight was goddamn awful. And then Jinder Mahal and Shanky replied. Shanky did a rap in a language that I don't know. I'm going to guess Hindi, but I don't really know. And Jinder calls him Ice Ice Shanky, and then Jinder says Hit Row, more like Cringe Row. I thought Jinder and Shanky's promo was better than Hit Row's, so I'm more into Jinder and Shanky.
Well, they're the heels though.
Yeah, I know, but not in
Jinder
my
and
world.
okay. Well, as long as we can like decipher the difference here, like there's what Dave thinks is like good guys and bad guys, and then what WWE is trying to portray as good guys and bad. Hit
Yeah,
Row,
well,
WWE wants you to say that they're good guys, but Dave
WWE
does
wants you to
think
like Hit Row. But do you like
yes.
Hit Row? Have they come off likable at all? Last week with the Sami Zayn thing, this week with their awkward promo and their shitty rap? They're terrible.
I'm
Shit
not going to
Row.
deny it. It's not good so far.
Hit
But
Row. You put an S in front of your name, and that's what I think about you. You like
not
that?
bad.
That's what Stone Cold said to the Hitman. Remember? You put an S in
I
front of your name, and
remember.
that's what I think about you. Shit man. Get it? He was calling him Shit Man. Bret the Shit Man Hart. Which, good thing Vince didn't really start thinking about that. We could do that. Shit man. He could just shit everywhere. We could just change his gimmick. He could walk around with a toilet brush. It'll be great. I mean, you never know with Vince. He could have easily done that. But Shit Row. Truly the drizzling shits. Goddamn awful. Bring back B-Fab. Free B-Fab. Rest in peace, B-Fab.
Well, it's too bad, but people get cut. They just have to go forward. That's what they're doing. So let's see them wrestle. Like aren't really wrestling. That's what I think is going to hurt them. I mean, promos are nice and everything, but you do this week in, week out, and there's no action. That's what people are going to turn on. People want to see action once in a while.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Hit Row does as far as action, but as far as promos and gimmick, they are detestable. I do not like them. I just see the corny guy from that WWE Hidden Gems A&E show. He just he just comes off as this like corny lame guy who cries about Andre the Giant's fucking pants or whatever. Like, fuck out of here. I don't want to see this fucking big old jabroni fucking rapping. I'm tired of seeing people that can't rap. People can't rap. Get the fuck out of here. You're not fucking Kendrick Lamar. You're Shit Row. Fucking Shit Row. Aliyah's backstage. She's on the phone. She's whining about being kicked off the Survivor Series. Team Survivor Series, as she calls it. Fucking Aliyah. Figure out what the fuck you're on, and then maybe you can complain about it. Mustafa Ali shows up, consoles her. He was being kind of nice. And then Ricochet shows up, and he's like, don't believe anything this guy says. He's a total jerk. I think Ricochet was just trying to get in on Mustafa's action there. But Mustafa was just being nice to Aliyah, and then Ricochet just big old jerk. Jerkachet.
Well, I mean, history has shown, Mustafa Ali with Retribution, he can be a bit of a con artist. So it's kind of history.
Don't trust him.
I mean, Ricochet was involved in all that stuff. They try to recruit him, and he knows. So it makes sense if you remember the story.
Yeah, but, if he would have joined Retribution, maybe they would have still be the most powerful force in WWE after all. Ricochet fucked up. Ricochet's fault. Ricochet.
No, I think he's okay. I mean, he's still not doing anything right now, but like, where's the other members of Retribution? One of them got released, so I think two of them got released, if I'm not mistaken.
Mia Yim and Slapjack?
I believe it was Slapjack.
Slapjack got released too. Man, they better not release T-Bar. I love T-Bar. Give me more T-Bar. Can't get enough of that T-Bar. That was SmackDown. SmackDown was not great tonight, John. I don't know what you're talking about. Just because you got to see your boyfriend, Roman Reigns, wrestle. You got to see Roman with his shirt off. You're all excited.
Charlotte was there.
Yeah, that was
saw
good.
A good match with Jeff Hardy.
It was okay.
Sami Zayn. That was a good match.
Wasn't as good as...
You're very difficult to please.
I'm
not. Really difficult to please.
I'm not. I'm easy to please usually. I mean, it wasn't that great. What did we see on Dynamite Wednesday? I'm sure there were matches on Dynamite Wednesday that were much better than anything we saw on SmackDown tonight. Even on Raw this week. Like, I don't know. Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn was... I don't know.
Jeff Hardy had the best promo,
Charlotte.
I think.
Yeah, Charlotte's promo was really good. It was really good. One of the better promos you'll see in a while. But the Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn match, like, it was okay, but it was like a condensed match. It was so short, like... We just didn't see enough of it, It didn't have time to breathe. It was like, oh, here's the match, and oh, it's over. Okay. Guess that was something. It's just, it's like 4 minutes. Not impressed.
I think a bit longer than that. It had a commercial break, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it was a bit longer than that. But
it was pretty short, though, and it was like, nothing
that was
special.
Good. That kind of shows you it was good.
Yeah, I don't expect it to be bad. But I'd expect a little bit more than what I saw. I didn't love it. So Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, likely for Survivor Series, and Sami Zayn and Aliyah are both off Team SmackDown. And they haven't replaced them. And they have one more episode of SmackDown to figure it out. So that's good. Survivor Series is next week in Brooklyn.
I think I've already said this. Saying this again, I guess, but
say it again.
Like, just looking at it, like, on paper, it looks like for the women's side, Raw's going to win that, and for the men's, it looks like SmackDown's going to win that.
Maybe. I don't know. Raw, you've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and Bobby Lashley. It's a pretty strong team. Mm-hmm. SmackDown, you got Drew McIntyre, King Woods, Corbin, and Jeff Hardy, and somebody else. I don't know, kind of evenly matched.
For the most part. I find Team Raw, I think they just really don't get along. The whole, like, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens thing doesn't work out. Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley. I mean, a lot of Team Raw is kind of feuding with themselves. So
Seth and Kevin may be on the same side now because Seth and Kevin had their match, and Kevin lost, but then Kevin attacked Big E, so Kevin's a heel now. So maybe they are on the same side, but I see what you mean. But Team Raw, all former WWE champions. All of them. Former champions or Universal Champion or whatever. They've all been champions.
Right.
Team SmackDown, not so much.
No, but they got Drew McIntyre, and that goes a long way. That's a strong captain in a sense. And Xavier Woods
got Bobby Lashley. They got the man who beat Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they got guys to beat Drew. There's no question about it. Again, I just feel that Team Raw, they're just gonna pretty much cost themselves the match, I think.
You may be right. We'll see. We still don't know who the fifth member of Team SmackDown is. We did know. And then they took Sami Zayn off the team. Why do you think they took Sami Zayn off the team? Like, why not take Baron Corbin off the team?
Well, they show Baron Corbin every week, so that's not going to happen. I mean, I'm not surprised he got a spot.
Sami gets on every week, and Sami's a better talker than Corbin. And a better wrestler. And just overall, better.
I think Sammy's on most weeks. I don't know if he's on every week, but for the most part, yeah. It's just they don't seem to put him in a high profile situation where Baron Corbin seems like he's like the number 2 heel on the show. So I am again not surprised he's on Team SmackDown. They shouldn't have him survive, but he probably will survive because they love Corbin for whatever reason.
I think he is the number 2 heel on the show. That's crazy. What a bad show. Oh, they have a really good top heel there in Roman, but everything else, wow, goes downhill fast. And you think Team Raw will win, the women's Raw team? Bianca, Rhea, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Zelina taking on Sasha, Shayna, Shotzi, and Natty, and then somebody else. Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I think Team Raw probably wins that women's match. That makes sense. You think Big E has a shot against Roman? Sorry, you want to comment about the Survivor Series?
Well, just on the women's,
yeah,
just on the women's thing, it's just again, it's the opposite where Team SmackDown's probably going to cost themselves the match because Shotzi and Sasha, they're going to be wrestling next week on SmackDown, and that's probably going to continue on to Survivor Series, and they'll probably cost each other probably that match, and then the team will crumble after that.
Shotzi's got quite a look on her. Quite a look.
It's unique, it stands out.
She looks like the Joker a bit, no? With the hair and the makeup, she looked like the Joker tonight. Like a sexy Joker.
I guess kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Joker's not really that, not many tattoos, but sure, I guess.
But you know what I mean. You ever see that movie, The Joker?
I actually haven't seen The Joker.
It was pretty good.
Funny. It's one superhero movie you actually saw that I haven't. Wow.
Yeah, I don't like those superhero movies, but that one seemed good, I saw it, and it was pretty good. I liked it. What the hell are you talking about? Can we do AEW now? Are we done with SmackDown? What about Big E?
We had Big E and Roman.
You think he wins?
Well, I think they just pretty much wrote a reason why he's not going to win, right? Because he just took that powerbomb on the apron. So he's kind of hurt going into that match for Roman. So it's him fighting from behind the whole match, and then Roman's going to win. Roman just took a loss, too, on SmackDown. Like, he's not going to lose again.
Disqualification loss. I think it kind of hurts Big E if he loses clean to Roman, though. There's got to be some sort of interference.
He's going to hurt.
He can't lose just clean. Uso's got to help, or Kevin Owens got to help, or something, There's got to be some sort of fuckery going on to help Big E not look so bad losing to Roman. He can't just lose to Roman straight up. It's too early for that to happen for him in his ascension. They're still trying to build Big E. If he just loses clean to Roman, it's like, oh, well, he's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good, Just kind of limits everything that he's doing. I think he loses, but he can't lose clean.
I didn't think they should have done this match in the first place because Big E doesn't need to take a loss right now. However, now that they've written that he's hurt going into this, like, it kind of makes sense. And yeah, they'll put little safeguards where they'll have interference here and there. Like, they'll protect him, but, he has to lose. So that's going to happen.
And how do you think Becky and Charlotte goes?
I think Becky wins. I don't know how. I mean, if they want to do a Survivor Series kind of screw job kind of thing, do what you want with it. I mean, I think just having the match, people will be happy with it, no matter what happens, really.
They ran a promo for Survivor Series, and a big chunk of the promo that they ran on Raw this week was about the screw job and Brett and all that stuff, which is weird that still, 24 years later, they're still kind of pushing it as a big part of Survivor Series and the tradition of the thing. Like, they're not showing the debut of The Undertaker or the Gobbledygooker or anything like that. They're just focusing on the screw job in 97, which I thought was a little weird. Maybe we'll see another one. Maybe Big E gets screwed. That's how he loses. I think they're setting us up for another screw job. It seems like the the focus on the screw job was more prominent than it should be in the lead up to Survivor Series. So might be tipping their hand there.
They like to bring it back every so often. I mean, it's what they like to do, so whatever. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's kind of a crappy situation that you shouldn't actually revisit all the time, but that's WWE for you, doing that. Disrespectful towards Brett, still.
And they love it. AEW Full Gear going on tomorrow night. We are getting ready for it. We did kind of a preview for the card on Wednesday night after Dynamite. That's our AEW show. That's where we focus our sole attention on all elite wrestling after the main AEW show, which is AEW Dynamite. We gave you our picks for all the matches on Wednesday night. So if you want to get a full in-depth look at AEW, you can check out our Wednesday night show. But tonight we will give you a quick preview for AEW Full Gear, give you our final thoughts before this pay-per-view. We just have about, 5 minutes left to go here on Rampage. Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy involved in a lumberjack match. This will have no bearing on what happens tomorrow night at Full Gear. It is a 10-match card.
Too much.
Ouch. Yeah. It's going to go late.
We're
going to be on
already
late.
Lost the point.
Yeah, it might be midnight or 12:30 or 1 a.m. I have no idea, but it's going to go on real late tomorrow night.
Crazy.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good.
It better be when it's that late, yeah. But the pay-per-view should never be that long. They got to fix that. That's a problem. Or at least start the pay-per-view early. The fact that it only starts at 8 p.m., nah, you got to start that at 7 p.m. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're going to do a 4-hour pay-per-view, you have to start it at 7. You can't do a 4-hour pay-per-view starting at 8. It's ridiculous. I agree. Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. It is the main event for the AEW World Championship. It's the match that a lot of people are coming to see. Again, I think Kenny should win. I think Kenny Omega should win this match. I think that it is a little bit too soon for Hangman. I think a lot of AEW fans are expecting Hangman to win, and you don't want the big moment to be expected. You don't want the big moment to be anticipated. You want the big moment to be there where it's needed, where the fans are begging for it, where they're on the edge of their seat because they think, oh, they're just going to screw Hangman again, and then they don't screw Hangman, and they give him the belt. But here, I feel as though Hangman hasn't been screwed over enough. Hangman hasn't been stopped enough in his tracks. Hangman has, had a couple of opportunities at the belt and fallen short, but I don't think that this is his time. I think that you could wait another 6 months to a year with Hangman Page and get the fans frothing at the mouth and demanding and going absolutely nuts for a Hangman Page title victory. I think if he wins tomorrow night, a lot of fans will be expecting it. I think he's the expected favorite to win going in, and I don't think that's how you give him his first title reign. I think when he wins a title, it should be a little bit more of a surprise. I don't think it'll be a big surprise if Hangman Page wins tomorrow night. I think, if I'm going to predict it, that Hangman Page probably wins. However, I don't want to see him win. I would much prefer see Kenny Omega win and then somebody else take the belt off Kenny if Kenny indeed is going to drop the belt. Drop it on a Dynamite, drop it on a Rampage, drop it to Bryan Danielson, and then go from there. Drop it to CM Punk, and then go from there. That's what I would do. I would have Kenny beat Hangman by hook or by crook tomorrow night, and then go on to face Bryan Danielson, who I think will beat Miro, or I would like to see beat Miro, and then Danielson and Kenny for the belt in a 60-minute time limit match. They went 30 minutes. It was an unsolved match. They went to the time limit draw. Let's settle those differences. Let's give them an hour. Let's give them a title match, and let's see what we can do. I say Kenny versus Bryan for the belt. Give Bryan the belt, and maybe have Hangman beat Bryan in a few months, but not at Full Gear. It's not over Kenny. I think that Kenny should be the guy that Hangman can't beat and has a real trouble with for a very long time, and eventually he can beat him, but not now. I think it's too early. I think it is premature to give the belt to Hangman Page here at Full Gear. I think a lot of people will disagree with me. I know that, but that's all right. Not everybody can see it the way I do, and not everybody can be as correct as I am. But Kenny Omega is the clear choice. I think Kenny Omega is a great world champion, and there is no reason to stop the reign right now. He's doing a great job. It's Kenny's time. It's still Kenny's time, and I think that it's too predictable with Hangman. It's not Hangman's time. I love Hangman. But not yet. I think the story would be better off if Kenny wins. So I hope Kenny wins, but I think Hangman will win. John, you think it's Hangman's time, and you want to see it, right?
Yeah, I think this has gone on long enough. We've had the whole, ever since we've had the AEW Championship, Hangman has been trying to go for the title and coming up short. I think he's come up short enough. Even against Kenny, they've kind of done this where if he would have beat Kenny, would have got a shot, and he still lost that. So I think it's time. We'd had this last year Full Gear, and Kenny won. I think it's time to finally give it to Hangman. I'm not saying he needs to have a long reign, but finally give him the moment, and then have a great moment in his hometown next week on Dynamite.
I think it would be better if Kenny came out in Hangman's hometown and made fun of him for losing and got a ton of heat. I would like to see that. Go for the heat. But
we'll find out in 24 hours, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's cool. I think the match will be incredible. Kenny and Hangman have great matches. They got great chemistry. They're two of the best wrestlers in the world today. I think the match will be awesome. And the result is definitely a mystery. Because I could see them giving it to Kenny, and I could see them giving it to Hangman. I believe that they're going to do Hangman title change here. I think that's what we're heading towards. But I could also see AEW pulling the old switcheroo because everybody believes that it's Hangman's time, and I could see them going with Kenny. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do, what the final decision will be. I think Hangman wins, but, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Britt Baker and Ty Conti, less interested in that. I don't think the match will be particularly great. I think it'll be okay. It will not steal the show, and Britt Baker will definitely retain the AEW Women's World Championship. So, there's that.
I think it's going to be better than you expect. It's too bad this didn't get enough build or a proper build. I feel they didn't do enough for Ty Conti for this. It kind of came out of nowhere, her title shot. And, she had enough wins. They could have built this up in a better way. They could have actually gave her a promo. Apparently they gave her a promo, but we never saw it, I guess, somewhere. So, maybe she can't cut a good promo, but you got to give us something where we can get, attached to her character, get know more about her, because, there's not really much, about her besides what commentating says about her. So, it's kind of hard to get behind her when Britt Baker gets promos every week. So, yeah, of course people care about her more because you hear from her all the time. So, there's more of an attachment there. It's hard to get attached to someone who just, she wins on shows we never see. So that's kind of tough. But I think this could be a good match, though. Ty's had some good matches in the past, and she seems to always deliver in big matches. So I think this, could be the sleeper match of the night.
You are way higher on Ty Conti than I am. I don't understand why you love Ty Conti so much, but you really do. Every time we bring her up, you're like, oh, yeah, she's really good. And I'm like, what? Huh?
Well, I've watched her matches on Dark, and I've seen, her progression. If you saw when she first started to where she is now, amazing improvement.
Eh?
You didn't see it, I guess. You haven't seen it, so.
Well, I don't really care if you start from 0 and get to 3. I want to see 10s. I don't want to see 3s. I don't give a shit. If you start at 0 and get to 3, fucking, gold star, but I don't care to watch you on TV.
Well, for some reason, yeah, you're very harsh. Like it's like if you aren't like the best wrestler in the world and can't like cut the best promo in the world, it's like get out of my face. It seems to be your
Well,
attitude.
yeah. My attitude is, if you're not really good at promos and not really good at wrestling, why the fuck am I watching you? Sorry, John.
No,
That
but they
seems
have to
pretty
be like
obvious to
star
me.
level,
If
like
you're not
5 star
really
level.
good at promos, if your promos are like very missable and your wrestling is very forgettable, pardon me for not wanting to watch you on a primetime international television show. I'm trying to watch. I mean, if Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson and Britt Baker are on the show and you are, one of the lesser talents, I'm not that interested. There's good wrestlers, and then there's wrestlers that are just not as good, and I don't really care to watch them. I know they exist, but I don't care about them. I know Ty Conti exists. She's fine, but
I just find that you see someone who is like maybe opening match at best, and now to make it the pay-per-view, like to see that progression, I think that's really amazing to watch that, to see that over time develop. I think that's really great. But you didn't see that, and hopefully at the pay-per-view you'll see a bit of that at least.
wah, wah. I think you just got a crush on Ty Conti. All right, Bryan
I have a crush on
Daniels.
good wrestling.
Yeah, well, so how come you don't love Bryan Danielson that much? You should love Bryan Danielson more than Ty Conti. You say nicer things about Ty Conti than you do about Bryan Danielson on this show. I don't understand what the hell's the matter with you. You never say anything positive about Bryan Danielson, who's probably the greatest wrestler of this generation and maybe of all time.
I said he had a good match on Dynamite.
Oh, he has a good match every once in a while. He's a decent little hand. I mean, get the fuck out of here, B-plus player. Fuck, fucking
B
talking.
plus all the way, yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna fucking say all these nice things about, oh, Ty Conti, she's really great. Danielson, he's fine. Whatever. What? Don't tell me you got a crush on
Well,
great wrestling where you fucking just gotta like, yeah, Danielson.
I think
Bullshit.
you'll agree too. Like, his promos aren't as good as his wrestling. I mean, there's no question about that.
Promos are better than Ty Conti's goddamn promos, like a million times. Let's see Ty
Well, and
Conti
to be
get a
fair,
whole
he hasn't cut
arena
a
to
lot of
chant
promos so
yes.
far.
Yeah, well, so what? Everything he's done has been better than anything Ty Conti's ever done in her whole goddamn career. What the hell are you talking about? Every single thing, Bryan Danielson shits better wrestling matches than Ty Conti has. What the fuck are you talking about?
I got no hate for Bryan Danielson, so don't
You
worry
kind of
about
do,
that.
though. You kind of do because I think he's so great. Because I love him so much, I put him over so much. You kind of shit on him on the show. I see you, John. I see you.
No, I just don't think I didn't like the reasoning for that whole like triple threat thing at WrestleMania. I think that was kind of ridiculous.
Still mad.
But
He was in the main
whatever,
event
like
because the main event needed him. All right? That match, Bryan Danielson, Edge, and Roman Reigns, better than any Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one match that you saw. So, thank
that
Bryan
Money in the Bank
Danielson.
match was pretty good.
Thank Bryan Danielson for inserting himself in that match and making it better. He's going to wrestle Miro. The winner gets an AEW World title shot. It's the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Final. Miro, the Redeemer, the Man of God, taking on Bryan Danielson. I think this match could go one of two ways depending on where the belt goes. I think if Hangman wins, I could see Miro winning. And Miro, Hangman as some sort of feud post, Kenny for Hangman there with the belt. But if Kenny wins, I could see Bryan Danielson winning and going on to feud with Kenny. But I could also see Bryan Danielson winning and going on to feud with Hangman. I don't see Miro winning and going to feud with Kenny. I don't think Miro versus Kenny is something that AEW is going to do. I could see Bryan Danielson winning and facing either man, but I could see Miro winning. I think if Miro wins earlier in the night, you could pretty much bank on a Hangman Page AEW World title win in the main event. So for that reason, so as to not give anything away, I'd have Bryan Danielson beat Miro. Also, have Bryan Danielson beat Miro. It just makes sense. Give Bryan Danielson a title shot. Give Bryan Danielson the title. and then have Bryan Danielson as your champion, you're welcome.
Well, I think it's important to recognize the fact that this was not the original plan. It was supposed to be Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley.
Yep.
So when plans get changed, sometimes match results get changed. Maybe they're like, well, it works better to have Miro win this match. However, I didn't like the way they were talking about Miro, saying that, oh, Bryan Danielson's the underdog, where the way I look at it, he clearly is not the underdog whatsoever. Like, if anything, he has the advantage going into this. So the fact that they're trying to push that kind of shows that they maybe know Bryan Danielson, like he's the favorite, so we need to talk like he isn't the favorite, and he's got to come from behind in this match. I mean, yes, he's going to get his ass kicked most of the match, like most of his matches, but he usually comes back and wins these matches. So that more than likely will happen. I think Bryan Danielson's going to win.
I agree. I think the match will be really good. We have a question asking us what we think is a sleeper match. Maybe a match that people aren't that excited about that'll be really good. I know Johnny North is going to say Ty Conti and Britt Baker because Johnny loves that.
I already said that, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
That's your sleeper match of the night?
I think I said that word for word.
I'm going to say that the Inner Circle versus the American Top Team Goons is going to be my sleeper pick for match of the night because I expect it to be bad, but there's a part of me that thinks it could be all right because it's a street fight and there's a lot of guys, and I think some of these MMA guys are going to want to go through tables. Junior Dos Santos went through a table when he wrestled his first match. Arlovsky's in this match. Junior Dos Santos, Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky. They take on the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Hager, Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. Minneapolis street fight. That's my sleeper pick. Because I expect it to be bad and kind of a mess, but they may pull it together and make it pretty good. If it's anywhere near passable, I think it'll be a big surprise for me. So I'm hoping for the best, prepared for the worst. I think the Inner Circle wins, maybe? But even then, maybe not. I don't know. Didn't they win the last one? When they had the multi-man tag with Junior Dos Santos, Inner Circle won that, right? No, they lost?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they'll win this one then. There you go. All right. Inner Circle wins.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I was looking at it. They lost the last time around, and it seemed for the most part, America's Top Team, I think on the last time they interacted, they had the over. So, yeah, for sure, I think the Inner Circle is going to win this match. And the way I look at this, just have low expectations. Like, it's a street fight. It's just going to be a brawl. This is not going to be a wrestling classic. I expect some sloppy wrestling because a lot of these guys aren't going to be wrestlers in this match. But a lot of it's going to be just, spot, comedy, and then finish. So as long as you look at it like that, maybe you'll get a couple botches here and there. But if you just go into this match for fun, I think you'll enjoy it.
I think the Lucha Brothers versus FTR could be match of the night. I think Darby Allen, MJF could be match of the night. I think CM Punk, Eddie Kingston could be match of the night. I think Kenny Omega, Hangman Page could be match of the night. I think Bryan Danielson versus Miro could be match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of matches here that could steal the show. I really don't know what will be the best, and that's good, when you're walking into a pay-per-view thinking, damn, there's a lot of solid wrestling matches booked here. Lucha Brothers versus FTR for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Lucha Brothers are the champions. FTR did beat them for those AAA tag team belts a few weeks ago, so I think we're both expecting the Lucha Brothers to retain here and not lose another title to the FTR.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but it's going to be a good match. Like you said, there's a couple of matches where it's like, well, this could be a match of the night. And this is why I have high expectations for this pay-per-view. Because there's some matches right away you're like, wow, this could be one of the better matches you see all year. So, yeah, this should be really good. And they've only started wrestling each other, but usually FTR, the matches get better and better as they go on when they feud. So, high expectations for this. Hopefully it's going to be really good.
Not a lot of filler on this card, right? Like, it's just
Better not be for so long.
No, but I'm saying as far as the matches, there's not a lot of matches where you're like, I could skip this, I could not watch this. You want to see everything.
That's true. Yeah.
The one match I think I could skip is the Christian Cage and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, because I feel like I've seen it a million times. It's a false count anywhere six-man tag match, so it's a bit of a different stipulation, which is good. But yeah, I think it'd be good to open up the pay-per-view with the Bucks, get it out of the way.
Opener second.
Yeah. But I don't care about this match. We've seen it so many times. I don't care. Christian,
It's not bad though.
Christian and the Jurassics got the over tonight. They've been getting a lot of the over. I think Cole and the Bucks wind up winning the match.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Probably get the pin on Jungle Boy even, because Jungle Boy's been getting a lot of wins, so he could take a loss. It's no problem.
Yeah, Jungle Boy, maybe Christian. But I think that the Bucks and Adam Cole wind up winning this one, and then we'll see where they go from there. But hopefully, it'll be over between the Bucks and the Jurassic Express, because this feud's just been going on forever and dragging on, and I don't know. Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi Black. I think this match could be really good too. Who do you have winning this one?
I think I had the heels on Wednesday. I think I still have the heels because, again, I feel Cody and Pac, like there's going to be miscommunication. They're not really a team. Malachi and Andrade, like it feels like they are a team or there's some sort of partnership there, and it's just starting. So they should start off with a win, I think. So I go with them. I'm not sure exactly who's going to get pinned. I could actually see Pac getting pinned because you don't see him getting pinned that much.
I see Pac getting pinned, blaming it on Cody, and then we do a Pac-Cody feud going forward.
Sure, yeah. Why
I
not?
think Cody does something maybe underhanded or just not very sportsmanlike, and Pac gets upset, and it costs them the match. I think something happens between Pac and Cody that moves us forward between those two guys, which winds up having Andrade and Malachi getting the win. Darby Allen versus MJF. Where's this one going?
This is the hard one. This is tough.
It's tough.
It really could go either way. This one. This is such a coin toss. This match, I find.
Yeah,
it's good though.
AEW's done a really good job of making these two guys into stars. These are AEW original guys. MJF called them the two members of the four pillars of AEW, along with Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy. Young guys that are going to take this company over the next 10 years. And you believe it. And definitely at the forefront, Darby Allen and MJF, two of the best talents in AEW, two of the best young talents in all of pro wrestling. MJF is cutting killer promos. Darby Allen has incredible matches. I'd give the edge to Darby as far as the in-ring. I'd give the edge to MJF as far as the microphone. Not to say that Darby's bad on the mic. I like his video, little movie things that he does. I think that's really creative, really different, and it sets Darby apart. But just MJF in the middle of the ring with a live microphone, there's nothing like it. But Darby Allin in the ring takes a little bit more risks than MJF. He seems, his matches are a little bit more high impact, a little bit more fun to watch. But MJF is a very solid wrestler who's only getting better. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. I feel like it's MJF. I feel like MJF gets the win here. But maybe Darby. I don't know. It's really tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the way this feud has gone, it really feels like it can go either way. The way I'm looking at this is that I look at who the champions are right now, and I think it's pretty much all face champions, or I'm expecting Hangman to be the champion, so I feel there's going to be all face champions after this pay-per-view, so you want to build up some strong heels, so I feel like you give it to MJF. I don't know if you make him TNT champion or go for the world title, but you want a strong heel for one of those champions, I think. So I go with MJF for this.
Hangman Page is world champion with MJF chasing. Seems like something that we will see in the future of AEW. Will we see it in 2022? Like, are we headed there next year? Are we ready for that? Is that where we're going, or do we wait? I feel like eventually, something that, when AEW started, you'd say, yeah, probably Hangman, MJF, they'll wrestle for the belt at some point. Do we see it next year? Are we there? I don't know.
I got no problem with it, but wouldn't be surprised they have us do MJF, Sammy Guevara. I mean, that's been built up enough already, so
Yeah.
for the title, it's better that way too, so I could see that.
Would like to see MJF with a championship belt at some point. I think that would be good for him. Raise the profile, raise his accolades in AEW. And finally, we have CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. So I think we're both going with MJF, right? Officially, MJF.
But you weren't sure. But
I went MJF.
I'm pretty confident. Okay, so we're both going MJF.
Yeah. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. I think this match will be really fun to watch. I think it'll be really physical. I think they're going to make it look as real as possible. I think in the end, CM Punk definitely wins. But they did a hell of a job in promoting this match with that one promo on Rampage there a couple weeks ago. Or last week, I guess. Fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to the match. I think CM Punk definitely wins.
Yeah, I just hope they do a creative finish. It's unfortunate. They've already done the finish too many times with Eddie, where he does the whole, he's in, a submission, and he just gives the middle finger and passes out. I feel like he's done that a couple times already, and it feels like this is where they'd use it again, and it's like, it's been done. You got to do something a little bit different. I don't know if you do the whole, Bret Austin kind of finish from WrestleMania, but something along those lines.
Yep. Kingston, goes out on a shield type of thing. Doesn't tap, but he passes out. I could see that. Oh, and there's a pre-show match. Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. All right. I go with Shida and Rosa. Nice baby faces to open up the show, Keep the crowd happy to start the show.
Well, and you look at it too. I think Thunder Rosa is the highest profile star in that match. So yeah, I mean she's winning that.
Yeah. Plus, pre-show match, you want the baby faces to win, right? Keep the crowd happy at that point. And that's it.
But
that's it, John.
Star power helps.
Star power. The star maker, Charlotte Flair. She's the star of the night. Good God Almighty, what a promo! Great stuff. AEW Full Gear going down tomorrow night. I'll be here right after the show with Johnny. I don't know when after the show will be. 12:30. It's going to be late at night. We'll be here real late. We'll be here. We'll recap everything that happened at Full Gear, give you our match of the night, give you our rating on 10. Last AEW pay-per-view was the pay-per-view of the year as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see what AEW does here. Their last pay-per-view of 2021. It's been a great year for All Elite Wrestling. Some huge signings for the company. And here we go. Full Gear. I think 2022 is going to be even bigger. It's crazy what AEW has been able to do this year. They signed CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. I mean, just that alone, that's a win. That's a victorious year for AEW. AEW signed everybody, and WWE fired everybody. That's the story of 2021 for both companies. WWE's just like, let's fire everybody. Let's start fresh. Steiner's got any kids? Let's just fill the roster with Steiners. Baby Steiners.
I think every company's had their ups and downs, but I mean, just surviving right now in this world that we live in, it's not easy for wrestling companies. So it's good to see that AEW and WWE are able to keep doing well.
It's not easy to survive, John. And that's why next week we have Survivor Series. You knew that was coming.
I feel like it was going to be a little bit different. It was going to be like, who will survive?
Yeah.
But
there will be a lone survivor. I like the old school Survivor Series where it was like teams, and then people got eliminated, and then whoever was left, they joined together to do like another match at the end of the night. You know, you had these makeshift Survivor Series teams at the end. They did that a couple times. You remember that?
Yeah, it wasn't the match quality wasn't that good though, and I'm glad they actually never did that ever again, to be
It
honest.
was a
Like
cool
I don't
stipulation.
mind. It was interesting, but it didn't really work well when you actually saw an execution. Like I feel it's better to have like a couple Survivor Series matches and actually have like a non-Survivor Series like match for the main event, like having the WWE Championship as your main event because it kind of caps off the whole night. You see something a little bit different.
But we're not getting that. No championship
Well,
matches
now
on Survivor Series.
it's different. It's different now because we get this whole brand supremacy thing going on. So, and this is Survivor Series at the worst possible time. I mean, you do really Survivor Series when you're about near the end of the brand split, like not right when they finally did it, where it just feels like, well, these people are all on SmackDown before, really. Like it's not
Yes.
really that big of a change whatsoever. Like
Yeah.
just feels like you just switch colors. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous, but
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
It's very strange. It's very strange when you have a pay-per-view designed on Raw versus SmackDown where the GMs are the same for both shows. They're basically booking against themselves. It's like playing chess against yourself. It's fucking ridiculous. Not only that, but the rosters just switched like 3 weeks ago. So a lot of people that are on the, Raw show were just on SmackDown. Like, how many members of these teams were on the opposite brand? Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. Seth Rollins was on Team Raw. He was just on SmackDown. Kevin Owens was just on SmackDown. Rey Mysterio was just on SmackDown. Finn Balor was also just on NXT. So he's just,
no
brand.
SmackDown.
Or he was on NXT then SmackDown. So 4 out of the 5 members of Team Raw were on Team SmackDown like a month ago, right? They were on SmackDown a month ago. Bobby Lashley is the only real Raw guy on this team. Team SmackDown rather, you have Jeff Hardy, Drew McIntyre, and King Woods. Those 3 guys were all on Raw before the draft. And Corbin is the only real SmackDown guy. And the same with the women, Team Raw. It's all people that were just on SmackDown. Zelina, Carmella, Liv Morgan, and Bianca. Rhea Ripley is the only person on the team that was actually on Raw before the draft. Team SmackDown, you have Sasha, who has been on SmackDown the
She
whole
was on
time.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shayna was just on Raw. Shotzi's been on SmackDown for a bit. And Natty, who I think has been on SmackDown the whole time, right?
I think
Or
so,
was she on
but I
Raw?
also think she jumped around. She jumped around a bit. Well,
She
because
was
she was
champion.
Raw. She was champion, tag champion.
Yeah.
But I think she was on SmackDown. I think she was.
I think she was SmackDown. So it's just Shayna that kind of bounced around. But the rest of the teams, right? Most of the teams, they have no brand allegiance. And I was listening to the commentary team, like McAfee was like, oh, we're going to beat Raw so bad. And I was like, that's right. The only people that really have brand allegiance are the commentary teams. McAfee and Cole, and then the 3 guys on Raw, Graves and Saxton and Smith. Those 3 guys are Raw guys. They've stayed on Raw. They were on Raw before the draft, and they're still on Raw. Michael Cole and McAfee that were on SmackDown before the draft, they're still on SmackDown. The commentary teams are really the only people with any kind of skin in the game. Like, they're the only people that really care about the brands.
Even the refs, I think, are on both shows.
Yeah. I mean, it's really ridiculous when Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville are the authority figures for both shows. Oh, I really got to make Team Raw good. Why? Why?
Well, again, it's just the timing of it. I mean, the idea is not bad. It's just like you don't do it now. You should have done it like later on, at least build it up a little bit. But oh well. And who will Roman Reigns face at WrestleMania? That's a great question. Right now,
Xavier
well,
Woods.
why not Xavier?
Xavier Woods.
Well,
He just beat him tonight.
He's the only one on SmackDown.
That's right. Or The Rock.
Well, The Rock would be ideal, but I mean, if they can't get The Rock, you got to come up with a plan B.
Yeah. Solid plan B. But I think The Rock would be the A plan for them, and I think it's still not out of the realm of possibility. I know The Rock is saying no, but, when he says no publicly, it usually means maybe. So I wouldn't rule that out.
You gotta think about this, though. I mean, they're doing 2 nights in Dallas. 100,000, 2 nights. Whew.
Got to sell that.
That's you better get some good main events, because that's tough. Like you need Stone Cold Steve Austin both nights.
That's a 200,000 person gate over a weekend. 200,000 WWE fans tickets sold. Like, I mean, what the?
Ideally, it's probably going to be the same fans in both nights, right?
You would think a lot of them, but not all of them. Still, 200,000 tickets sold in 2 nights. Good God! Wow. How are you going to do a 100,000 seat venue 2 nights in a row? That's impressive. I mean, you can say what you want about WWE, and here comes AEW. AEW can't do that. Can't do that.
Right, but WWE's going to have to throw at everything. I mean, you need Stone Cold hosting both nights. You're going to need The Undertaker to at least appear. You probably need Shawn Michaels to appear even. I mean, everyone that you have from Texas, like, they got to show up. JBL even. You got to do everything you can to sell out those nights. It's tough.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. They got to bring the matches too. I mean, like I felt like, what was it? Night 1 was, I think, okay, but night 2 was like, eh. I mean, the matches I thought were kind of better, but in terms of like what it was on paper, it wasn't that great.
If they don't have Roman against The Rock, I really don't know what kind of big match they can do. I really don't know what they've got up their sleeve, but
I mean, they could do Roman and Seth. I mean, that would probably be the second biggest match they could do, really.
Yeah, but that's not that great. I don't know if that sells a 100,000 seat stadium. Oof. And it's coming up, John. It's not too far away. April is not that far away.
Now, no?
Yeah, tickets are on sale. Coming up here mid-November. It's going to be WrestleMania season before we know it. I mean, Survivor Series is coming up here. It's the final pay-per-view of the year for the WWE. So we had a question from Matthew. Wants to know when a rematch of Reigns and Lesnar is going to be. I think it'll probably be on that New Year's Day pay-per-view. What are they calling it? Day 1? They got a pay-per-view January 1st. I do believe Brock and Roman will wrestle there. John thinks it's going to be the Rumble. I think it'll be at Day 1. It's a new pay-per-view. You got to sell it somehow. Give us a reason to tune in. Brock Roman.
Yeah, but isn't the Rumble like a stadium show?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not in January yet, John. Take it easy. I'll tell you what.
Well, we're not that far away from January, like you just said. Like, if WrestleMania ain't far away, the Rumble's really close.
St. Peter's, Tropicana Field. Tropicana Field in Tampa, where the Rays play. Baseball stadium. I
mean, I don't know about you, but ideally, I think you want Brock and Roman, and then you have The Rock win the Rumble. I mean, that's the best thing you could possibly do for WWE.
Rock ain't going to be in the Rumble. He's not going to be in the Rumble to win the Rumble, you think? That would be crazy. It could be. Could be. Wow. I don't think you need that, though. I don't think Rock needs to win the Rumble to get the match against Roman. He just needs to show up. Give the Rumble to somebody else. I don't think you want to
sell WrestleMania.
The Rumble's a great way to build somebody, though, and, give him a push. Rock doesn't need a push. He is the push.
To sell the tickets.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you sell the tickets just by saying Dwayne will be there. Anyways, we're not there yet. We're going to Full Gear tomorrow night. AEW Full Gear. I mean, we're not going. We're going to watch on TV. But we'll watch on TV, and then
we're going on YouTube.
We'll watch, and then we'll talk to each other on YouTube, right? We will be back here tomorrow night right after AEW Full Gear, whenever it ends, probably around 12:30 Eastern Time. I don't know. Maybe even 1 a.m. I don't know. It'll be late.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned to the Ringside Report Network. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have not subscribed, click that bell as well when you subscribe So you get notifications every time we're on. So if you are wondering what time we'll be on tomorrow, you can click that bell, and then you'll get a notification to say, hey, they're on. Pay-per-view's over. Also, if you're watching the pay-per-view, you'll know when it's over, and then you can come here and then watch us. And if you're not watching the
That's a good
pay-per-view,
idea.
we'll tell you what happened on the pay-per-view. Okay? Big plans for you tomorrow night. Got the coffee ready. We'll stay up real late, and we'll talk to you. And that's it. And that's all. There's some UFC fights tomorrow
I actually
afternoon.
got the energy drink instead.
There you go. UFC fights going on tomorrow afternoon. Max Holloway versus Yair Rodriguez. We gave you our picks and predictions for that card on last night's episode of Ringside Report MMA. Check that out right now. It's on the YouTube channel right here, and you can go to ringsidereport.net. Check out everything that we do on Twitch, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Johnny and I will be back here tomorrow night with my brother to recap AEW Full Gear. And that's it. I want to thank Harold Schneider. You are the Super Chat leader tonight. Thank you to Antoinette as well for checking in, hitting us up on Super Chat. Harold and Antoinette are members of the team. Don't forget to become a member if you're watching on desktop. On YouTube, click that join button beneath me, and if you're not watching, if you're watching on your phone or not watching on a desktop, you're watching some other way, go to join.ringsidereport.net, join.ringsidereport.net to join the team. You could also go to donate.ringsidereport.net and ringsidereport.net/shop to get some of our merch and shop some of our affiliate links and get some discounts on some products and get some kickbacks over to the Ringside Report Network. Okay? Okay? I'll see you tomorrow night after Full Gear.